Welcome everybody to Change Your Mind, Manage Revisions Like a Pro. I'm your host, David Gear, and just a little bit about myself. So in the past 28 years in the AEC industry, I've worked as a designer in various firms here in Arkansas and a general contractor. I was a VCD manager and a primary focused in commercial construction projects. I also specialize in Revit, Navisworks, AutoCAD, and CTC tools, just to name a few. So our agenda today is main topic is we're really going to go over the revisions in building projects are reality. They happen. We have to be able to efficiently manage those revisions on sheets and reports. We also need to make sure that our documentation and planning and print sets are correct. And so in Revit, we have some tools that'll do that, but we also have some external tools that really help us take that to the next level. And so I am going to go over some of the Revit tools and then some of the CTC tools that help make those managing revisions a whole lot easier. So if we look at the Revit settings, obviously you can get to the settings a couple ways, either through the Views tab or through the Manage tab and get sheet/revisions, sheet issues/revisions, stand correction. We first need to decide, is it going to be a per project based revisions or is it per sheet? And then we need to decide how we want it to be numbered. Is it numeric, alphanumeric, or do we want to really come in and change some other things about it? One of the other things I forgot to put a bullet point here is setting the arc length. Do we want the arc of our revision bubbles to be 6 inches, 1 foot, 1 inch? And then once we get all those kind of set up in Revit, we have additional tools through CTC tools that allow us to manage these revisions. You know, do we want to assign all the revisions to multiple sheets at once? Do we want to be able to export that out to an Excel spreadsheet so that we can, you know, come in and click which ones are being assigned and then have it come back in and change all those items? Absolutely. Let's make our lives easier. Do we need to go ahead and remove the revision clouds off the set, but actually keep the data in for historical value? Maybe we're getting a set that needs to go to the owner and it's, you know, we don't need the revision clouds, but we want the title blocks to have that revision information. Well, we can do that through the CTC Revision Cloud Remover, where if we use the Revit portion and delete revisions, we remove that information out of the title block. And so with that, I'm going to go move over to the software demonstration here in the workflow. So I've got my project open here, and I'm just going to go over just the Revit information first. So I'm going to go to View Revisions here. And first and foremost, I need to decide how many revisions I want for at least this demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and put in, whoop, I did not want to mean to put in 6, so I can always delete it, and it's saying, hey, anything that's on that's going to get moved. I'm going to go ahead, set my arc length to 6 inches so I don't forget for later. And I'm going to come in here and just set some dates based on my project. And then I'm going to come in and set some description types here based on my project. Now that I have those kind of set up, I need to know, am I going to do it numeric or alphanumeric? Maybe I want all my floor plan changes to be alphanumeric. Maybe I want the next one to be numeric. I'm going to leave that, but I've got a couple here that are owner and field changes, and maybe I want a unique revision number for those. If that's the case, I can come down here to the customized numbering. I can create a new one here. And I'm going to call it owner changes. I'm going to leave it numeric, but I'm going to put a prefix here, OC dash, right? And so now I'm going to go in and add another one. For field issues. I did not mean to do an underbar. I wanted to do a dash. And I'm going to do alphanumeric for that one. Now that I have those set, I can come into my owner changes and set my owner change, and it's going to have OC-1. If I come in and say issue for construction, I've got my field issue one. It's now FIA. Once I apply those, these are now per project. So as I go in and mark up my revisions, and I assign them to the appropriate item, it should come into my title block and set those items up. Instead of me going through and putting a bunch of revisions, and you guys and gals watching, I want to close out of that one and kind of do a little Martha Stewart here and say, okay, we put it in the oven and now we've popped it and everything looks okay. So we can see we have our revisions, and if I come in and look at my revisions, they're the same information. Do I want to show the cloud or just the tag or nothing at all? Now, if I change this from project to per sheet, I get this warning here. And the one thing you need to worry about is if you're going to change this in the process is how are your revision tags going to be renumbered? Is it going to do them appropriately? Is it not? Now I'm going to close out of that one and open up my ones that's per sheet here. And let me open up a couple more ones here. All right. And I'm just kind of getting to the title blocks here because this is where really the CTC tools are going to shine for you as far as managing these revisions here. And hopefully when I do my WT for window tile, we can kind of see what's going on. I may have too many open to get a good view, but we'll see how this goes here. So I'm going to come to my CTC tools tab and I'm going to come to my revisions manager. And so what my revisions manager is going to do is look at all the sheets that are in the model, and it's actually seeing some of the elements that are in the links. Not that I need to worry about that, but it's still reading through there. I can see the sheets and revisions, and I can also see any of the revision clouds that are in the project. If I want to come in here and just start hiding all these, I can quickly come in and hide all those and apply, and those revision clouds are no longer showing. I can also come over here to my actual sheets and revisions and go, hey, I know that the floor plan 1 needs to have all 5 revisions applied to that sheet. And I applied those, and then if I come over here, see that was a 2, wasn't it? So now, one, I need to adjust my title block or my revision block in order to fulfill those areas. Now, the other thing is I don't know about you, but I've been on projects that have a lot of sheets, and I have to go in and apply those. I don't want to go in, let me close out of this for a second, as I'm talking about, I don't want to go to each sheet and go revisions on sheet and have to come in here and check each one. What the revision manager allows me to do is, if I know I'm going to have sequence number 5 as far as my items are for these sheets, I'm going to go in and click all these. And I realize that prepping for this webinar, that I've got a feature request for CTC is being able to select all these or select a few of them and be able to come in here and check mark that and it actually apply all of them. So that's my feature request for CTC in the future, but I'll tell you, coming down here and clicking on a list versus having to open up each one of these sheets is a time-saving device for me and my team. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Now, granted, I don't have all those sheets open, but that 5th issue has been set to all the sheets versus me having to go open each sheet and apply it. Now, that's if I'm going to have revisions that don't have a revision cloud, obviously, right? Now, I said, hey, what about exporting these out, right? So I could come in and save this out as an Excel file. And I'm going to go ahead and save it and override the one I have. And yes, I'm going to say, hey, go ahead and open it up in Excel. And so if I wanted to, I could now come in here and use my Excel features and assign that in and save it. And I hit load. I can now load that Excel sheet, and it's now applied all those settings, and all I have to do is hit apply, and now all those sheets now have that revision assigned to it. Great way to help keep track of those and know what's on your sheets and what's not on your sheets, and a good QA QC for whoever your project manager is to know, hey, I've got this Excel sheet, this is what I'm tracking, we need to make sure these are the ones that are applied. I can apply the Excel spreadsheet, boom, we're good to go. Now, I said we could come in and delete these. I'm going to do tile window here. Oh, it helps if I hit the right keyboard command. I was hitting TE and Revit was like, no, I don't know that command. I just should have been hitting TW for tile the windows back. So if I come in and I've got these revision clouds and I want to issue that out, but I want to keep those in. If I come to the revisions, I could come in here and delete them. Well, it deletes the revision and the clouds. But the thing is yeah, I could come in here and say none and do it that way. Or I could come in and quickly come in and say, hey, let me use the free revision cloud remover. It sees all the clouds and I tell it to keep the revisions on the sheet, and then I can come in and remove those, and it removes all the clouds and all the tags, but leaves everything in the title block. So I know this was kind of short and sweet, but I am going to ask for any questions at this point. Okay, so Tom, you asked a good question. Where's the hey, you went so fast. Where was that in and out tool, right? So if I go back to the revision manager, and I thank you for asking that question. On the very front here, if I hit the save button, that actually exports it out as the Excel file. And I'm just going to hit cancel so it doesn't do it. If I need to load that, I'm going to come hit the load button and navigate to where that file is, and then it's going to tell me what applications it's done. I'm hoping that answered your question, and definitely thank you for that. So not with the revisions. There are other tools for doing spreadsheets that we can do in that, and that is, excuse me, that is through our spreadsheet link tool, where we can really harvest a lot of the database information that is in Revit and push it out and push it back in. And that is the other tool that we can use to do more of what you're asking as far as other data and parameters, and not just revisions. So I'm hoping that actually helped too. Oh, absolutely. Great for asking those questions. Yeah, matter of fact, I did a webinar on the spreadsheet link as far as doing that to help set up your sheets and setting up the view templates assigned to those sheets using the spreadsheet link. So yeah, definitely go check out that webinar too, Tom. That'll probably Matt, that's a great question. That is actually on our YouTube page, and that you can get through that through atgusa.com. We also, if you go YouTube and just do a search for ATG USA, you have that channel right there as well. If need be, Tom, we can have my marketing team send you a link directly via your email, and then that way you get that, and we have all those CTC tool demos there and webinars, and hopefully that'll help you too. ATG USA is the exclusive USA reseller. If you're in Canada, it's SolidCAD. Definitely go check out our sites, and definitely you can download these tools. Anything you see that is on my screen right now that is in the light colors, and when I say the light colors here, I'm going to kind of mark on my screen here. Anything that's in these light colors right here are the free tools. After your 30-day trial is up, these tools remain free to use for the life of your computer. Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Tom, for contributing. So like Tom had asked, where can we get these information? Definitely subscribe to our LinkedIn page, and then we also have a YouTube page. If you need links to those, please let us know and we will get those to you. I want to thank everybody for joining me during your lunch time. And so now I get to give you a little bit time back to you. So that you can continue having your lunch. And I want to thank you and have a great ATG day.